So, good morning, everyone. My name's Caroline Hunt, and I'm the Managing Director of Emerald Starfish. And today we're going to look at the current recruitment market for SMEs and some issues you might be facing, more importantly, how you might want to address those issues. So thank you for watching. Right, so there's going to be two parts to the agenda. I'm only going to record the first part. So we're going to look at the current recruitment market and the issues that we might be seeing within the SME recruitment at the moment, as well as some ideas to make your recruitment more successful. Okay. So it's been an interesting start to the year. So these are kind of some stats actually from the end of last year, but 3/4 of employers are expected to recruit in the next 3 months, so in Q1 of this year. So 45% of companies are finding vacancies hard to fill. This was at the end of last year. And 82% of East Midlands companies are finding their vacancies hard to fill. Now, I've got the latest figures, and for January, so not from February, obviously we're on the last day of February now, but for January, applications for jobs were up by 57% month on month. And that is 32% higher than any month at all in 2022. So we are seeing more applications, which has been an issue in the past in terms of kind of what's been happening with the market. The main reason that people are looking for new jobs is money. With the cost of living crisis, they're looking to get more money. That's never been the number one issue before, but it is at the moment, and that still stands. 8 out of 10 firms across the UK now are, so in January, we're struggling to find the right people. And 45% of candidates in a recent survey are willing to resign over company values. So that piece is becoming more important about how you fit within an organisation. So I think that's a really important thing that companies need to be considering as well. So the main current issues at the moment are these. And we're going to go through each of these and look at how you can address these as well. So the first one is salary expectations. Then we've got counter offers from companies, existing companies. I don't know if you've seen this, but you find a candidate, you're really pleased with them, you offer, and then the company they're currently working for comes back and counter offers, which can be really frustrating. Candidates withdrawing from the process. So again, just really frustrating. All in 2022, we've described recruitment as being like carrying a leaking bucket of candidates, and you're walking along with these candidates and they're just disappearing. So we'll look at that and how to address that. And then from the poll that I did on LinkedIn yesterday, we had the most votes, but actually not enough suitable candidates. And there's a new thing that's come out called quiet hiring, which might help you to address some issues if you're finding that. Okay, so the first issue that we see is salary expectations. So in the second quarter of 2022, the average pay growth was 6.2%. This included bonuses. So without bonuses, it was 4.3%. And we're still seeing this a lot in terms of candidate expectations. We had a candidate yesterday, actually, who was offered 33% more than what they'd been previously offered, which was slightly below the the salary that was advertised on the advert, and we had to do quite a lot of negotiation, even though she was actually taking a 33% pay rise. So I think it's really important to understand right at the start what the candidate's salary expectations are and how this breaks down. So explore it a bit further. Is there a car included? What about their bonus package? What really makes up the bits of the package that they are interested in. I think a really good question to ask around salary expectations is, if you were to be offered this job at the salary we have discussed and your current company counter offers you, would you stay? It gives the opportunity to have a really open and frank discussion with the candidate. Have you sold the vacancy enough to them? Are they really serious about your role? And it just, lays those cards out on the table to start with. I think the other thing that's really important is to make sure that you're really selling the benefits of working for you. So, you know, do you have any additional benefits? You know, talk about your holiday allowance, private health insurance, gym membership, dress down Fridays, bacon sandwiches on, you know, for the weekend, whatever it is, it should be part of your sell towards the candidate. Another option is to offer a sign-on bonus. So pay it at the end of the first month of having worked for you. Those first 30 to 45 days are the most difficult ones in terms of candidates' expectations and sticking point, really. So, you know, but don't make it a surprise. Talk about it up front. If it is less than the cost of re-advertising or re-recruiting for that role, you're onto a winner. Also talk to them about future opportunities. So candidates that are very much focused on the salary, it's really short term because we all spend what we earn. And I think it's really important to try and stretch candidates' minds and show them what the long-term opportunities are within your organisation. You know, what training and development is there? What other opportunities might open up to them? What career progression have people who have had this role before done? So, and then the final thing I would say is, do you have something in your back pocket? If you really want that candidate, are you able to offer something? Can you do a bit more negotiation? And I would also ask the question, why was that money not up front? Why were you not there? It's a difficult one, you know, but would that make the difference? I think that the bottom line still is that you need to be offering a 10% pay rise for candidates for them to even entertain taking your position. Okay, so the next one that I want to look at is counter offers. So an increase in money is the number one reason why candidates are looking for a role. And as I said earlier, actually, that's not usually the case. It usually sits around number 7, but at the moment, candidates are money hungry. And it's far easier to ask your current employer for a pay rise when you've got something else on the table. So, you know, kind of how do you address that? So I would certainly kind of ask that question that we talked about before in terms of, you know, if your current company was to make that counter offer, what would you do? Why would you do it? I think it's really important as well to understand the real reasons, the full reasons that a candidate is looking for a new role, and actually to help them have a full understanding as to why they're looking for a new role too. And see if you can address all of those issues within the interview, you know, certainly give us as much information as you possibly can. I think it's also really important to follow up. So you've made the candidate an offer, you know that they've got to go to their current employer and have that conversation. Really help to hold their hand through it, you know, follow up with the candidate afterwards, after they've been in and handed their notice, and say, you know, how did it go? Sympathise that it's not an easy thing to do, you know, really kind of make it's an easy decision. You know, candidates who move to you are taking a leap of faith. You know, the counter offers are often successful because of the better the devil you know. So really help to smooth that process out. And I would also try and do something to really delight the candidate and help them to recognise that they've made the right decision by moving to you. So whether it's a welcome to the team card, that's something that we always use, or if you've got a meeting that's coming up or drinks out with the team, invite them along to that to help them start to feel part of the organisation as quickly as possible. So the next one, which is really, really frustrating to us, is candidates withdrawing from the process. And we are seeing about 35% of candidates not attending or withdrawing from the process. And we, you know, we hardly ever used to see this at all. And the most common reason is that they've already accepted a job. So in the past, what would happen is a candidate would, you know, perhaps be made one job offer, but would hold on to see what your job offer was. And then there was an opportunity to sell your opportunity over the offer they've already got on the table. That doesn't happen anymore. Candidates get a job offer, that's the one they're going to take. So it's really about being quick about this and really understanding the candidate's mindset here. So So what can you do? Number one thing is find out at interview what other things they've got in the pipeline, so that you understand their timelines that they're working to. The second one would be to keep in touch with candidates. Don't interview them and then not tell them anything. Talk to them about it in terms of kind of what's happening, why there might be a delay or anything like that. Make sure you're having those conversations. Give them a call the day before they come in for interview. It's all about that building rapport, making them feel comfortable. The most important thing is keep your recruitment process quick. Don't give candidates time to go off the boil. So what we do with our clients is we sit down with them at the start of the process and say, when do you want this person to start? Then we take a month off that. So that's when we need to offer. And then we plan around work commitments, any holidays that the hiring managers might have, so that we can actually put the information that the candidate wants ideally on the advert, so that they know when we're going to start interviewing, and they certainly know when they're going to hear from decisions, and it just keeps them moving through the process. Our heart absolutely sinks when we have a manager say, yeah, we really like that person, we want to see them back for second stage, we just need to look at diaries, it'll be about 2 weeks, because we know that we're going to lose candidates within that. So, and the other thing I would say is offer quickly. Ideally on the day. If you do want to sleep on it overnight, just have make sure that you're making the right decision. That's absolutely fine. Let them know that. And then try and reduce the start time as much as they can. So if they're on a notice period, ask them if they've got any holidays that they can take for that. Most companies will let people go early. See if you can give them a nudge towards that, just to reduce that period of time that they're not working for you and still working for their previous employer. So the final point is not enough suitable candidates. And actually in the poll, I think I said earlier, the poll that I ran on LinkedIn yesterday, this was the one that got the most votes. So as I say, candidate applications have actually gone up in January compared to December, but then that's also, seasonal differences. January has the new year, new job bit. December is very much, I'm finished now for Christmas, I'll look in the new year. So it might be a bit of seasonality in terms of that. So what can you be doing in terms of making sure that you're getting as many candidates to apply as possible? So think about who you're writing your adverts for. Don't just post your job descriptions, but really think about what's going to attract your candidates. Think about the right time to advertise. So as we said, work backwards from when you want the person to start, and try and have as short a process as possible. And be really clear in terms of the role, the good bits and the bad bits, and really sell the positives of working there and the problems that the candidate who's successful is going to help you solve. We like to help, and to feel that we're coming into an organisation to make a difference right from the start will make a real difference. Make sure that you're advertising in the right type of role, in the right place for the right sort of role that you're looking at. And also look at your longer term strategies around employer engagement and your public reviews as well. Candidates will look at these. It's so easy to research companies these days. Make sure you have a look at your strategies in terms of these areas, and make sure that you're doing stuff so that candidates can go back and see why they should be working for you, so that they stay in the process and are keen to apply. So one of the things that we have seen recently, which is really interesting, is a new phrase called quiet hiring, which can also help to address this problem of not enough suitable candidates. So the idea with quiet hiring is that you look at your existing staff that you've got within the organisation and look at what are the tasks that need to be done acutely, and how you can use your existing talent pool to address your business needs. It's about looking at who you've got within the team and getting to expand their responsibilities. It allows people to learn new skills, which is great for their personal development. You may need to pay them a little bit more, but actually you might want to do that anyway. It'll be cheaper than bringing a new person on board, but you can also offer other things. So for example, flexible working, So a good example would be that actually you want somebody to do, I don't know, perhaps more of an analysis role, and actually it would be easier for them to do that working from home, where they can have that quiet and uninterrupted time. So you could offer that as, you know, I want you to take on these extra responsibilities, but actually that flexibility that you've been looking for is something that we can really do. So it's just a thought. It certainly helps to address some of the problems with some roles where you're not getting enough suitable candidate supply. Okay, so look, thank you ever so much for listening. I hope you found that really useful. So every month we run strategy sessions for SME businesses, which you're very welcome to book on to. Over the next sort of month, the areas that we are looking at, we will be addressing these in the weekly recruitment forum, are common recruitment issues, and specifically if you've got issues that you are finding, you know, we can talk through those and what ideas we might have to solve those. And then we're also looking at recruiting different generations as well, and what you might want to do to encourage the younger generation into the workforce, and what you need to be doing to make that really attractive to them. And again, if you want really specific information, then I really would urge you to join the strategy session. We're also looking at who are Generation Z. So this is quite a new phrase that's being used. I think it's really important. It's actually about tribes of people and who you want within your organisation. The strategy sessions are with myself. It's a one-on-one session for 60 minutes where we can cover off these areas, but also anything else that you might need help with in terms of your recruitment. There's no cost to them at all. So all you need to do is visit our website, emerald-starfish.com. My diary is right there on the front page, and you can book straight into there. So that's everything. Thank you ever so much for listening. My name's been Caroline Hunt, and I'm the Managing Director of Emerald Starfish. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.